Public Service and Agriculture at Clemson University, and I'm here at the South Carolina Water Resources Conference in Columbia, South Carolina. I have with me Dr. George Askew, who's the Vice President for Public Service and Agriculture.
Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for coming and spending some of your time with us today. We wanted to ask you some questions related to Public Service and Agriculture at Clemson, and why it's important for PSA at Clemson to sponsor this conference here in Columbia.
Well, as Public Service and Agriculture, we service the entire state of South Carolina, and our major focus is ag and natural resources. So virtually everything ag and natural resource related sooner or later comes back to water. How much we need, how much we have, the quality of water coming into our farms, off of our forests, the quality of water coming up our storm systems, how we treat it, all that big water cycle is important to us. So as a sponsor, we want to bring together people that can talk about all these aspects, public concerns, science, engineering, to make things work better and make the state of South Carolina stronger.
So given the history of Clemson Public Service and Agriculture related to water resources and water resource management, what would you say are the most pressing needs in South Carolina related to that?
First of all, I think we have a complete understanding of what our water resources are. We certainly have surface water that's within the state of South Carolina. We have rivers that enter South Carolina, rivers that leave South Carolina. We have aquifers in the groundwater. It's important to understand how much we have, how they recharge. If we don't understand what we have, it's hard to understand how to manage what we have and how to make sure we use it effectively. So I think understanding exactly what we have, how it's depleted, how it's recharged, and then its elasticity, if you want to use that word, is important.
Since Clemson is a land-grant university, what would you say are some of the most critical research needs that Clemson can help the state address?
Once again, I think going back and having solid science to understand and defend our positions on how much water we have. We have to do it in an effective way that how we collect the data, how we interpret the data is accepted by all sides of any particular controversy or issue so that everybody accepts the path forward after that. So having solid, rigorous scientific research is important, particularly in, once again, assessing the water quality and the water resources. The other side of the research component is how we use our water. I think effective research in irrigation technology, sensing what our crops need, understanding the physiology of our crops, we maximize their growth, and then having technology to put out just the water we need, where we need it, when we need it.
Clemson received some money from the state, I believe, some recurring funding related to water resources research. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how that can help with what's happening in engaging the future of the state?
Yes, we recognize the need across many state agencies, particularly the DNR, which has the responsibility of doing assessment of our water resources, and DHEC, which has the responsibility of regulating water, that they certainly could use a partner for doing research to support what they're doing in a positive way, in that we give them all the tools they need, improve the tools they have, fill in gaps of knowledge, expand knowledge where we don't have enough detail. And so having an objective research university do that, and Clemson being a land-grant university, having an agriculture and natural resources background, was obvious for us to offer our services to the state of South Carolina through these agencies, to be that R&D person to help these agencies go forward. So that was very important for us to go to the state and talk to them. The legislatures agreed. They provided us with $2 million in recurring money, and we're going to use that now to go out and meet in detail with DNR and DHEC, the Forestry Commission, the Ag Commission, conservation organizations, and so forth, and find out what their concerns are, what their immediate needs are for research so we can tackle them first, what the long-term needs are so we can start. A lot of people who get frustrated and say, well, it takes 10 years to find that out. Well, unless you start, it always takes 10 years. So taking that first step and starting that process for long-term is equally as important to solving immediate problems. So we can bring to bear over 70 scientists at Clemson University to help solve these problems and tackle the ones that the state of South Carolina feels are the most urgent, and then move on from there.
That does seem like an overwhelming agenda for the next 10 years. So what would you say is your next step, your very next step that you're going to be taking at Clemson?
Starting next week, we're meeting with agencies in DNR and DHEC and finding out very specifically where they need our help. Then we're going to have a research proposal go out to the faculty, and they can apply to solve that very specific problem. What's nice about PSA at Clemson University is our goal is to identify problems of the people of South Carolina, address them through scientific research, and then put them into practice. So by identifying the problems the agencies have in doing their job, where we can help them, allows them to actually solve a problem which should improve everybody's lives.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Vice President Askew.
It's been my pleasure. Have a good conference.